Hello, namaste, and welcome in the series of cybersecurity. This side is Meena, and today I will discuss about patch management, and it's damn important. Patch management, and first of all, we need to understand what is patch. We are using different softwares, applications, okay, and those are designed by the developers. Use code, and when it is in production environment, then new kind of weaknesses, vulnerabilities found, and then they design again a code to remove that vulnerability or that weaknesses. So that is what patch. And when we are implementing that code provided by the developer, we are patching it. But we are saying it's patch management is hard to implement. Why it's so important to implement in our organization? In today's session, I will discuss about what's the importance and why it is had so much headache for the cybersecurity professionals. In 2017, Equifax faced a very huge breach. Hackers stolen around 145 million of the PII record of their customers, and hackers were staying over there for 76 days, and that was really a very big breach, very big exfiltration of the data. Okay, and how that happened? What was the reason behind that much of the big breach? Reason was just very simple. Equifax was having the known vulnerabilities in their organization, and they were not able to patch it, and hacker found that vulnerabilities in their systems, and they entered into the network and stolen 145 millions customers PII. And that was just only example of a one company. Internet is full of those kind of news that attack happened. This company, million of the customer records stolen, their employees record, their that much of the data exfiltrate, that GB of the data exfiltrate from the organization. And here is the role of the comes patch management. Because in an enterprise level, we are not just using only a single device or single type of devices. We are using different type of devices, whether at the end devices level, okay, normal user devices, or server, or for the router switches, or the security devices or the security services they are opting. These are from different vendors, and if the OS basic, so on some servers they might use the Windows operating system or the Linux operating system, Mac operating system. They are using different applications, whether that's in-house application or application from the different vendors. Clear? They just found different kind of vulnerabilities, and if a company is having thousands of the devices, and the thousand of devices, now just you can imagine how many applications can run over there. That's a big amount, and patches are continuously coming from coming from the same vendor. Frequency of the patches are on the weekly basis, or the after 15 days, or month basis. And if those thousands of the applications patching from different vendors are coming with a so frequently basis, it's a really big headache for the cybersecurity professionals as well. How to remember, how to manage which we patched, what was the importance of patching this vulnerability first or that vulnerability first. So patch management can solve this problem. Okay, either you are using patch manager as internal or the external outsourcing, just you are cloud services you are using to manage your devices patch management. Okay, sometimes big companies like Google, Cisco, Dell, okay, or the Microsoft, they are creating softwares, different softwares, operating systems, applications. So when the vulnerability exists in their softwares, in their operating systems, they just develop the patches and definitely they test it and will send to the customers who are using their services or their applications. Clear? Or then they need to manage their internal management of the patch management. Or for example, if we don't want to take that much of the headache when the patch is coming, what's the vulnerability, what's the severity of that vulnerabilities, how important is this that per certain vulnerability to be fixed first as compared to the another one. If we don't want to take that much of the pain, then we can hire third party patch management service. Over there they will just take care of each and everything. Okay, now the question come, what are the ways or the best recommendation to implement the patch management? As now we understood about the problem of implementing the patch management. Okay, first of all, we implement in the phased manner. Categorize your devices which is having a similar kind of configuration. Okay, or just make a standard format of like a desktop user. These are the operating system will run on those devices. These are the applications we are just going to run on those desktops. Or if we have different kind of servers, what are the similarity between them? So just categorize this one and grouping those. Next, we need the method to identify what kind of vulnerabilities exist on it. Okay, and the patch management system or the tool we are using, we must also understand the risk associated with it. Sometimes vulnerability can exist in the patch management tools as well, and if the hackers will exploit it, they can control all over the vulnerabilities, finding out, assigning the priority, and what to update, what not to update. Okay, so understand it. If that's having the vulnerability, first patch it, your patch management tool. Okay, as recently there was a very disaster kind of attack, that's a SolarWinds attack was happened, and hundreds of thousands of the companies were affected due to that breach and attack. Okay, so we must also understand there is risk associated with that tool. Another thing is the credential misuse. The person who is handling or the team is handling for the patch management, if the credential is stolen by the hackers, now they are the management of that tool and they can do whatever they want. Okay, one another thing is that if we when we are receiving the updates from different vendors, hacker even can tweak those updates, can alter those patches, and if we install without just verification or the checking the integrity of those updates, and if we install it on our system, then definitely we are giving a lot of space to the hackers. They can enter on our systems with those vulnerabilities. Careful about that aspect as well. Okay, and when the new updates or new patch comes, when we are just going to install on our systems, first of all, test in on a lab. Don't implement directly. Then why we cannot? What's the logic behind this thought? What I'm saying to you? The thought is simple. Some patches might be the need to run restart the application, to restart the OS, or it can disrupt some other kind of application that's associated with it. Okay, and if you are patching your system at the peak time of your production of hours, you can disrupt the services. Okay, so just take care these things in your mind. At what time you are going to select, after testing your labs, then implement it. Okay, it will just give you a relief. And when we are having the list of the patches, vulnerabilities, categorize it. Which vulnerability is having the high risk associated with it? What will be the severity level? Because all the patches are not having equivalent importance. Some patches are having high effect, risk factor associated with that. If you will take time to patch those vulnerabilities which is having high risk, severity level will be high. If you will not patch them on the priority basis on the first level, then definitely you are damaging your company in a big way. Okay, so categorize all the vulnerabilities which is having the high risk, patch that first. You can leave the rest of them, because if that will be exploited by the hackers, that cannot damage a lot. Okay, so there are some recommendations. There are the importance of the patch management and different regulatories, different security standards. They just that's mandatory in their standards. You must have the patch management, because it's very important. Until unless you don't know about the vulnerabilities, you don't have the recourse of what you patched, when you patched, at what next patch will come, and how, when you are just going to patching your systems. It will be really a mess. It will be very hard to manage your patching system in your company. So follow me on the Cybersecurity Prism and get the notification for the next interesting and informative session. Also share that session with your friends, group members as well, so that they can understand about the importance of the patch management, why the cybersecurity professionals are facing a lot of difficulty to manage it, and what are the recommendations, what are the solutions to manage it in a proper way. See you in the next session. Namaste.